Have you ever woken up feeling completely drained, even after sleeping all night? That mix of exhaustion, heaviness, and emptiness in your chest that you can't quite explain? If so, maybe your body and mind are trying to warn you about something far more serious than just being tired. Burnout doesn't hit all at once. It sneaks in slowly, disguised as productivity, responsibility, and strength. And by the time you notice, it's already taken over, draining your energy, your joy, and even your will to keep going. Before we go on, I want to invite you to subscribe to this channel. This is a safe space, a place for honest conversations about mental health, exhaustion, and recovery. Here, no one will judge you for feeling too tired, for wanting to give up, or for not being able to handle everything. We'll walk this path together, step by step, rebuilding what burnout tries to destroy: your peace. Burnout isn't just being tired. It's a breakdown. Physical, emotional, and mental, caused by prolonged stress. It's your body saying enough while your mind insists on continuing. And the most dangerous thing about it? It hides in plain sight. The symptoms start small, almost normal, and by the time you realize what's happening, you're already deep in it. Today I want to show you the 5 most dangerous symptoms of burnout, the ones you need to recognize today before they take an even greater toll on your life. The first symptom is extreme exhaustion. But this isn't the kind of tiredness that a good night's sleep can fix. It's something much deeper. It's like your entire body has hit a wall. You wake up already exhausted. Every task feels impossibly heavy. Sometimes even simple things, taking a shower, replying to a message, getting out of bed, feel like climbing a mountain. It's as if your battery is permanently stuck at 1%, no matter how much you rest. This isn't physical exhaustion, it's emotional. It's your soul that's tired, and when your soul is tired, your body follows. You feel slow, heavy, disconnected from what you do. The things that once motivated you now feel meaningless, and then you start blaming yourself. Why can't I be like I used to be? Why did I lose my rhythm? But the truth is, burnout makes you believe you're the problem, when really, you're the victim of an unsustainable pace. The second dangerous symptom is emotional detachment, that silent disconnection happening inside you. Suddenly, nothing touches you anymore. The things that used to make you happy don't stir anything now. You feel a constant emptiness, as if you turned off your emotions just to keep functioning. And that's terrifying, because life starts to lose its color. You keep doing what needs to be done, meeting deadlines, checking boxes, but it's all automatic. No joy, no spark, no meaning. This detachment is your brain's way of protecting you from overload. But the cost is high. You disconnect from yourself, from the people you love, from the things that used to bring you peace. Little by little, you start to feel like you're watching your own life from the outside. Like an observer, not a participant. And that's one of the most dangerous signs, because it numbs you. You stop realizing how bad things have gotten, and you keep pushing until you finally break. Tell me honestly, have you been feeling that emptiness too? That sense of being there, physically but emotionally far away? If so, write this in the comments. I feel tired, but I don't even know why. That simple phrase might be the first step toward really listening to yourself again. The third symptom is cynicism. And this one is tricky because we rarely recognize it as a sign of suffering. Cynicism shows up when you start losing faith in what you do. The work that used to inspire you now annoys you. People get on your nerves. Every demand feels absurd, and you keep thinking, what's the point? You become more impatient, more critical, more detached. But deep down, that's just your mind defending itself from burnout. When you can't care anymore, you start protecting yourself with indifference. The problem is that indifference comes with a cost. It disconnects you from who you are. You start acting on autopilot, speaking with sarcasm, feeling angry or numb. thinking it's just a bad mood. But in reality, burnout is eroding your sense of purpose, leaving you too drained to care. It's a defense mechanism, yes, but also a warning sign that something is deeply wrong. A lot of people think burnout only happens from working too much, but it also happens from working without meaning. When you keep pushing, giving everything you've got, yet nothing truly changes. The body gives up, the heart shuts down, and the mind starts to just survive. And here's something important. Burnout isn't weakness. It's a consequence of a system running on overload for too long, trying desperately to keep going. That's why recognizing the symptoms early is so important. The longer you ignore them, the harder your body will force you to stop, one way or another. Have you noticed how your body always tries to warn you before it collapses completely? Back pain, migraines, insomnia, random irritation, forgetfulness, all of these are your body's way of saying, please, slow down. But we've learned to ignore those signs. We take pills, drink more coffee, push harder, until the body simply shuts down. Maybe, without realizing it, you've been living on that edge for a while, trying to hold it all together, blaming yourself for slipping, believing that everyone else can handle it, or it's just a phase. But it's not just a phase. It's the beginning of a collapse that can steal years of your life if you don't pay attention right now. I know it's scary to hear that, but there's something powerful about admitting, I'm not okay, and that's okay to admit. The moment you recognize burnout is the moment you begin to take your life back. And you know what's ironic? Burnout often disguises itself as success. You're doing great at work, producing more than ever, people admire you. But inside, you're falling apart, smiling on the outside, crumbling on the inside. No one notices because you've learned to hide it well, but your body knows. Your body feels it. It's like carrying a backpack full of rocks every single day. At first, you can handle it. After a while, every step hurts. But you keep going, telling yourself you can't stop, until one day, you simply can't move anymore. The body freezes. The mind shuts down. The collapse comes. In the end, burnout is the sum of all those times you said, just one more day, when you were already at your limit. That's the harsh truth, but it's also the one that can set you free. Because if you're recognizing yourself in these words, that means there's still time to change. You're not weak, you're human, and your body is begging for care, not punishment. In the next part, we'll talk about the last two symptoms, the deepest and most dangerous ones, and, most importantly, how to begin getting out of this cycle, even if you feel like you have nothing left to give. But before we continue, tell me in the comments, which of these symptoms do you feel most today? The physical exhaustion, the emotional detachment, or the cynicism? Share below. Your story might help someone else realize they're not alone. If you've made it this far, it's because something inside you knows you can't keep going like this. And that awareness, that quiet realization, is already the first step out of the dark. Burnout tries to convince you there's no way out, but that's not true. There's always a way, and it begins the moment you decide to look honestly at what's happening inside you. Our bodies speak, our minds speak, and now it's time to listen. We've already talked about 3 early warning signs: extreme exhaustion, emotional detachment, and cynicism. Those are the yellow lights flashing on your dashboard, telling you something is about to break. But the last 2 symptoms, the ones we'll talk about now, are the red lights. They're the ones that force you to stop. The 4th dangerous symptom of burnout is cognitive decline, or what feels like your brain just stops working properly. It's like there's fog inside your head. You try to focus, but your thoughts slip away like sand through your fingers. Simple things start to feel impossible. Remembering an appointment, organizing your thoughts, making a decision. Everything feels like pushing through quicksand. You know those moments when you read the same sentence 10 times and still can't understand it. Or when you open your phone and forget why you did. That's not just distraction. That's your brain conserving energy because it's overloaded. It switches into survival mode, shutting down high-energy functions, and concentration is one of them. Your productivity plummets, and along with it comes the guilt. You start thinking, I'm useless. I'm losing it. I'm not who I used to be. But no, you haven't lost anything. You're just exhausted. Burnout doesn't erase your talent or your intelligence. It just puts your brain in self-defense mode. When you finally allow yourself to rest, truly rest, clarity returns. But until that happens, you're trapped in a cruel loop. The more tired you are, the less you get done. The less you get done, the more you blame yourself. The more you blame yourself, the harder you push. And the harder you push, the more you burn out. It's a vicious cycle that feels impossible to escape. And that's where the fifth symptom starts to appear: the emotional collapse. This is when your body and mind say enough. It's no longer just fatigue, it's an internal shutdown. You might cry out of nowhere without knowing why. Or on the other hand, you might not be able to cry at all. You might feel anger, sadness, despair, or nothing at all. A painful kind of emptiness, a silence inside that feels unbearable. At this stage, many people experience severe anxiety attacks, panic attacks, chronic insomnia, or even physical symptoms without a clear medical cause: heart palpitations, chest tightness, dizziness, breathlessness. The body is trying to express what the mind can no longer handle. And the saddest part is that even then, so many people keep trying to push through, keep pretending everything's fine, keep saying it's just a rough patch, or I have to be strong. But strength isn't about pushing until you break. Real strength is having the courage to stop, to ask for help, to admit that you need care too. Burnout is a scream from within. And often, that scream comes from someone who's been silent for years, someone who's carried too much, tried too hard, demanded too much of themselves. Maybe that someone is you. And if it is, I want to tell you something with all my heart. You are not alone. There are so many people, maybe more than you imagine, feeling exactly what you're feeling right now. Trying to smile through the chaos, keeping it together on the outside while falling apart inside. But here's the difference between those who drown and those who begin to heal. The ones who decide to stop pretending. When you stop pretending you're okay, you create space to start healing. And that doesn't mean giving up on life. It means choosing to live it more truthfully. You don't have to wait for a breakdown to change. You can start small. Sometimes the first step is as simple as admitting to someone you trust that you're not okay, or allowing yourself to rest without guilt, or just sitting quietly, taking a deep breath, and asking yourself, what do I really need right now? And maybe, for the first time in a long time, the answer won't be to do more. Maybe it'll be to listen. Recovering from burnout isn't linear, it's a process. There will be good days, and there will be days that feel like you're back at square one. But every act of self-care matters. Every boundary you learn to set. Every time you choose to respect your limits instead of forcing yourself through them, that's healing. Think of yourself as a house built on cracks. Burnout is when those cracks finally show. It's not the end of the house, it's an invitation to rebuild it with stronger foundations. More rest, more awareness, more compassion. And rebuilding starts with small, gentle steps. Sleeping a little longer, eating better, saying no when you need to, reconnecting with the things that bring you joy, even if they seem tiny, listening to music, going for a walk, watering a plant, breathing consciously. Healing doesn't come from massive changes. It comes from the small, consistent acts of kindness you offer yourself every day. And I know, it might seem impossible to find the strength to start over when everything feels gray. But believe me, your body knows how to heal. Your mind knows how to reorganize. Your heart knows how to recover. All it needs is for you to stop treating yourself like a machine and start seeing yourself as human again. You are not what you produce. You are what you feel, what you dream, who you are, even when you're not doing anything. When was the last time you let yourself just exist without being productive? When was the last time you looked in the mirror and said, "I deserve to rest"? Maybe never. But starting today, you can. Burnout isn't the end of the road, it's a turning point. It's the moment life gives you a chance to rebuild with more truth, more balance, more meaning. It's the moment you finally free yourself from the burden of having to be strong all the time. And if you're hearing this now, take a deep breath. Inhale. Exhale slowly. Again. Feel the air entering your body, your shoulders loosening, your heartbeat slowing down. That's your body reminding you there's still life inside you. There's still hope. There's still time. No matter how tired you are, there's always a way to begin again. Always. And it starts when you choose yourself. Allowing yourself to stop isn't failure. It's survival. It's reclaiming your right to be human. You don't have to handle everything. No one does. The difference is, some people have finally learned to respect their own limits. And that changes everything. Maybe today, you can't take big steps. That's okay. Walking slowly is still walking. And even if you need to pause, that's okay too. Resting isn't quitting. It's preparing your body and mind to keep going in a healthier way. Burnout tries to steal your energy, your hope, your clarity. But what it can never steal is your ability to begin again. Even exhausted, you can rebuild yourself. And you will. You don't have to face this alone. Reach out for help. Talk to a therapist, a counselor, someone who can walk beside you. Asking for help isn't weakness. It's one of the strongest things a person can do. And if you don't have the strength to do that yet, that's okay too. Stay here with us. This channel exists to remind you that you still matter, even when you feel lost. Here we talk about burnout without shame, without judgment, and with real compassion. So subscribe now and turn on notifications to keep receiving videos like this. Not just to understand burnout, but to learn, little by little, how to heal from it. You'll find comfort here, understanding, and most importantly, a real path back to yourself. And if this video spoke to something inside you, leave a like. Not for numbers, but because every like helps this message reach someone else, who might be feeling exactly like you. Someone who might be at their breaking point and needs to know that there's still hope. Healing from burnout isn't a straight line, but it's a journey worth taking. Because at the end of that journey, what you find is you. So take a breath. You don't have to be everything for everyone. You just have to be enough for yourself. And that, believe me, is already so much.